Hello guys, Operator7 here, bringing you my take on the MCX Rattler for Airsoft build. So as you can see here, I've tried to get as close as possible to the real steel MCX Rattler, being an AEG version of course, as there is no AEG version of an MCX Rattler out there in the market today. So I really wanted to try and do the best build that I could in terms of the externals and the internals, and I'm really happy about it. So I really wanted to share with you guys, because I think over the last few years that I've been working on the VFC MCX platform, this is probably one of the best builds that I've done, both in the externals but also in the internal department. And I'll share that all with you. I'll give you this video overview of what I've done, and there will be a second video where I'll show you step by step all the tech work that I've done to this gun, so to get to that level that I really feel happy about. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started with the externals. And so let's get started with the stock. This is the original VFC MCX Virtus stock, which I've kept. I feel that, you know, most Rattler builds do run this stock. It's very comfortable. I like the looks of it, so I just kept it. If we move forward, here I've replaced the original charging handle with this Eagle Eye charging handle. It's a lot easier to action. It's a lot easier to get to the hop unit and adjust the hop unit, whether if you're in a game or not. And it just works really well, and it's really cool, as you can see there. I think it just really looks the part. Also on the top rail, I have added the basically the MCX Legacy front and back side. These are full metal size. They're really well built and really sturdy. I just feel that it totally adds to the look of the Rattler build that I have here. Here in the middle, I've added a basically a SIG SAUER clone red dot, really crisp image, really very good red dot right there, and I've paired it with a J-cell mount, and this is a high-rise mount. Why have I picked a high-rise mount? Well, that's because I usually run an airsoft mask. I do recommend everyone to wear an airsoft mask, and that's because, well, you'll still feel some of the shots, but it'll protect your face, and most of all, it'll protect your teeth. And for me, it also protects my nose. So I feel that, you know, in terms of airsoft safety, the mask is really helpful for me, especially when I play on CQB games. I think it's just that added layer of protection, and I don't like to get any dental bills. I think it's just not what you want. So totally recommend an airsoft mask. However, because the airsoft mask does add that a little bit more of height to your, you know, when you shoulder your gun, so you want to have a little bit more of height as well on your red dot. So to take into account, you know, the extra space between your face and the stock that the airsoft mask will give you. So that for me is probably the best setup that I in terms of a red dot for this and for my when I use my mask. If you continue in the front of the rail, there's this really big, really large pressure pad, which I use with my Watson Surefire clone. I think this is the M300. It did come with a pressure pad, which I action with my thumb, so it's really easy to use, especially on airsoft night games or indoor games. So it's always there. It does look the part, but it can also be useful. And then it comes with the M-lock mount, which sits really flush, really nicely on the handguard. So not only does it look good, it's very useful as well. If we go back again, here, as you can see, I have used the MPX, the original MPX pistol grip. I took it off my MPX, I put it on the Rattler. I think this completes the Rattler look a lot better. It sits a lot better on this than on my MPX. I actually swapped and I put the original pistol grip on my MPX. And also, as you can see here, I have a flat trigger. This is a Gate Quantum trigger, very snappy if you pair it with a really well, you know, very well tuned gearbox. Really snappy, really nice to action. I just love it. And then here you have the Kublai magazines. I've made a review recently. I'll leave the link in the description of the video review, also of the charging handle, the Eagle Eye charging handle. And as you can see, I've got the black one here, but it also looks really nice if I go to the smoke gray one, where you can see the translucent, it's translucent and you can see the fake bullets. It looks really cool. Now moving forward, I've also installed a PTS grip, very ergonomic. It helps me to shoulder the gun, to actually kind of aim better and more stable, get a more stable grip when I've got those long shots that I want to take. So again, I think it's really small and low profile, so it doesn't get in the way, and I just like the looks of it. Now, very important is the Lilacs 5.5-inch handguard that I've got here. I think it just basically, this is key for the Rattler look. You really want to get one of these handguards. I could have gone for, say, an Airsoft Artisan. There's the similar one, actually almost one-to-one replica of the actual Rattler handguard. However, there's a couple of things I did consider before going that way. Number one is this one fits the battery just fine. It actually sits there really nice and snug. And number two, I would have had to cut the upper receiver on my MCX Virtus, which I really don't want, because if I want to, I can always go back now to my MCX Virtus build. As you can see the difference there in terms of length. So having not having done that change to my upper, I can go back to using this handguard. Otherwise I wouldn't be, and so I mean I would have to spend an extra like 350 pounds to buy another MCX just for the very precise Rattler build that I wanted to do, and I think my other half would not be very happy. I already have too many MCXs, so she says. But yeah, I'm really happy because I still get to keep the best of both worlds. Whenever I want to, I'll go back to my MCX Virtus build, and I didn't have to do any work, any modifications to the upper. So I'm quite happy about that. Plus, again, as I mentioned, battery space is still there, and it does come not just with the outer barrel, with a really short outer barrel, but also comes with a battery stop in case I'm not running the suppressor. The suppressor acts here as kind of battery stop because it won't allow the battery to fall. It really not just adds to the look, but it is quite useful. It is quite useful as well, and I'll mention to you in a minute why. But yeah, it's very useful and it really looks good. So yeah, I'm quite happy about that. Most of the times what I'll do, I'll insert the battery with the wires facing the front. So all I have to do is to remove the suppressor. I don't need to remove the handguard if I want to replace the battery. And this will fit usually an 11.1 battery, around 1200 milliamps, so that will give me half a day. By lunchtime I'll just replace the battery, put another fresh battery in there, and that'll take me through the end of the day. So I'm really happy with how it works. Finally, in terms of the externals, as you can see here, I went ahead, I got from my MCX Legacy the plate, the blank plate. I've lasered the Rattler logo. It's a bit wonky, but again, I'm quite happy with it, how it turned out. So also I've added some electric tape because of the wire that's running from the M300 Scout there, so it doesn't snag anywhere. I mean, I think it just looks cool, and plus it won't snag anywhere now, or it will be less probable that it will snag anywhere. So this completes the external changes that I've made, which I feel that, you know, it is quite a good representation of an MCX Rattler. So let's talk a little bit about the internals now, and let's start on the back here. So on the back I have used a high torque rocket airsoft motor. I usually use, I used in the past some warhead motors, especially the top of the range one. I always had a little bit of an issue in terms of double firing on single, so I do prefer the traditional neodymium magnet high torque motors. This one works really well. I'm quite happy with it. As I mentioned before, I'm using the Gate Quantum flat trigger there. this one paired with the Gate Aster, which is a cheaper option to the Gate Titan, but also for me, from all of my MCX builds, it has been the most reliable one, the one that lasts longer without having any issues, because it also comes with less sensors, so there's less that can go wrong inside the gearbox. So, you know, cheaper, very reliable, and you can also get, if you want to, you can also get the binary trigger out of it. So again, I'm quite happy with it. Easy to program, easy to put together. Really happy with it. Gearbox wise, in terms of the shimmings, I reshimmed the whole gearbox, so it's really good. And I've also installed 13:1 gears. They were SHS brand, and I also paired that with an SHS 15 metal full metal rack, 15 metal teeth, so full metal rack piston and SHS piston head. So I get that compression that really gives out the best output for this build. Moving on to the inner barrel and the hop-up unit. I've kept the original hop-up unit, which I think is good enough, and I've replaced the hop-up bucking with a purple Prometheus hop-up rubber, and I've also changed the inner barrel. I've installed what I usually do on all my MCX builds. I've put a Mad Bull Black Python. I do believe here I've got the 242mm version, so it does come out a little bit. This is why also the other reason why I'm running a suppressor, because this come out a little bit, but anytime I can use a shorter inner barrel and just take it out, put the flash hider and get an even more compact basically gun than this one. That would be great to run in an indoor game or CQB event. So I'm really happy with how it turned out, both internally and externally. In terms of the performance, you'll see in the next video, it's shooting really well. I'm very happy with how much I got out of this build. So I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you've got any questions in the comments below. Let me know if you're planning to do your own Rattler build, how you're going to do it. And make sure you comment below any suggestions about how I can improve my videos. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Again, once more, Operator 7 over and out. Thank you for watching.